What did dinosaurs really eat? We all know the classic image, the terrifying T-Rex chomping down on a helpless Triceratops, or the gentle Brachiosaurus munching on treetops. But is that the whole story? How do we actually know what was on the menu for these prehistoric giants? Get ready, because today we're diving deep into the fascinating and sometimes bizarre world of dinosaur diets. It turns out, figuring out what a dinosaur ate millions of years ago is some serious detective work. Scientists, or paleontologists, are the detectives, and their clues are fossils. But it's not just about bones. They look at everything from the shape of teeth to the contents of fossilized stomachs, and even fossilized poop. Yes, you heard that right. We're going to talk about dino poop. Let's start with the most obvious clue, teeth. A dinosaur's teeth are like a built-in toolkit, perfectly designed for its food. Take the famous Tyrannosaurus rex. Its teeth weren't just big. They were like serrated, bone-crushing railroad spikes. They were thick and rounded, perfect for puncturing thick hides and shattering bone to get to the nutritious marrow inside. This tells us T-Rex wasn't just a picky eater, nibbling on flesh. It was a powerhouse, consuming almost every part of its prey. Now, contrast that with a plant eater, or herbivore, like Triceratops. Its mouth was packed with hundreds of teeth arranged in what we call a dental battery. When one tooth wore down from grinding tough plants, another would pop up to replace it. It was like a self-sharpening, never-ending pair of scissors, ideal for slicing through fibrous vegetation like cycads and ferns. Its beak-like mouth at the front was perfect for snipping off those plants in the first place. And then there are the really strange ones. Take the Therasanosaurus, a dinosaur that looked like a giant, terrifying turkey with Freddy Krueger claws. For years, scientists were baffled. With claws that long, it had to be a ferocious predator, right? But when they looked at its small head and leaf-shaped teeth, the story changed. Those teeth were not suited for tearing meat. It's now believed those incredible claws were used to hook branches and pull them down to its mouth, or maybe even for defense. A herbivore with killer claws. Nature is full of surprises, but teeth only tell part of the story. To get the really juicy details, we need to look for what we call direct evidence. This is the prehistoric equivalent of finding a half-eaten sandwich in someone's lunchbox. One of the most amazing finds is a fossil of a Borea lepelta, a type of nodosaur which is a heavily armored, tank-like herbivore. This specimen was so perfectly preserved in Canada that its stomach contents were still intact. Scientists analyzed it and found it was a very picky eater. Its last meal consisted almost entirely of specific types of ferns. Not just any fern, but the softest, most nutritious ones. It even had bits of charcoal in its stomach, suggesting it was grazing in an area that had recently burned, taking advantage of the fresh fern growth. That's an incredible level of detail from a creature that lived 110 million years ago. Now, let's talk about the less glamorous, but equally important clue. Coprolites. That's the scientific name for fossilized dinosaur droppings. And yes, paleontologists get very excited about finding a good piece of ancient poop. Why? Because it's a direct window into a dinosaur's diet. By slicing open a coprolite and examining it under a microscope, scientists can identify what's inside. For a carnivore, they might find fragments of bone, scales, or tendons. For an herbivore, they'll find bits of digested plant matter, like pollen, seeds, and wood fibers. One famous T-Rex coprolite found in Saskatchewan, Canada, was packed with the crushed-up bones of a young dinosaur. This confirmed the T-Rex's bone-crushing bite and gave us a snapshot of one of its actual meals. On the other side of the menu, coprolites from large herbivores have shown that they ate a wide variety of plants, including conifers, cycads, and early flowering plants. Some even contain bits of rotten wood, suggesting that some dinosaurs might have eaten fungi and insects living inside the decaying logs, adding a little extra protein to their plant-based diet. Another way to piece together the prehistoric food web is by looking at bite marks. Sometimes a fossilized bone will have clear tooth marks on it. By matching the shape and spacing of these marks to the teeth of known dinosaurs, we can figure out who was eating whom. It's like a prehistoric crime scene investigation. For example, paleontologists have found Triceratops bones with T-Rex tooth marks, confirming that classic predator-prey relationship. But they've also found T-Rex bones with T-Rex tooth marks, which points towards something really interesting: cannibalism. It seems that when times were tough, a T-Rex wouldn't pass up the opportunity to snack on one of its own kind. And it wasn't just meat-eaters leaving their mark. Some fossils of hadrosaurs, the so-called duck-billed dinosaurs, have been found with stomach contents that included crustaceans, like crabs. This was a huge surprise. These dinosaurs, with their massive dental batteries designed for grinding plants, were apparently supplementing their diet with a bit of seafood. This is called omnivory, eating both plants and animals. It shows that just like animals today, dinosaurs were opportunistic and would eat whatever was available to survive. Let's not forget the long-necked giants, the sauropods, like Diplodocus and Brachiosaurus. For a long time, people imagined them living in swamps, using the water to support their immense weight and munching on soft-water plants. But modern analysis of their skeletons shows they were fully terrestrial. Their long necks weren't necessarily for reaching the very tops of trees like a giraffe. A dinosaur like Diplodocus had a neck that was held more horizontally, suggesting it was more like a giant vacuum cleaner, sweeping its head from side to side to graze on low to mid-level vegetation over a wide area without moving its huge body. Brachiosaurus, on the other hand, had a more upward-sloping neck, allowing it to browse on higher branches. Different sauropods evolved different feeding strategies to avoid competing with each other for food. So, the next time you see a picture of a dinosaur, think about the incredible science that goes into understanding its life. From the shape of a single tooth to the contents of fossilized poop, every piece of evidence adds another detail to our picture of the prehistoric world. It's a world where herbivores had deadly claws, carnivores sometimes ate each other, and plant-eaters enjoyed a side of crab. The diets of dinosaurs were far more complex and surprising than we ever imagined. The investigation is far from over, and with every new fossil discovery, we learn a little more about what these magnificent creatures really ate. Thanks for joining us on this prehistoric culinary tour. If you enjoyed this journey back in time, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you don't miss our next adventure. What dinosaur mystery should we explore next? Let me know in the comments below. See you next time.